welcome to Jacob's Quest, and I just finished watching episode 4 of Skeleton Crew, and yeah, the mysteries continue to unfold. So, of course, we met with, what was her name? Kaylee, I think, or something like that. The owl lady. Anyways, we met with her last episode. She gave us some coordinates before we're being chased off by X-Wings, and we blast off to where we hope is At-Atten. And at first it kind of seems that way, except when we arrive we notice, hey, everything's kind of post-apocalyptic here. Weird. And it turns out we are on a different planet, but in the same ring, like in those we found out last episode there's something called, like, what was it, the 8 jewels of the old republic, these planets that were like super special and hidden, but they were all destroyed one by one except for At-Atten, which mysteriously disappeared. We are on one of those called At-Akron, and what we find here is that this place is plunged into the middle of a civil war between these two tribes. And basically the kids get separated into one tribe where they're kind of recruited as child soldiers, which they think is pretty cool. But when you really think about it from an adult's perspective, you're like, oh, wait a minute. These people just bring in these kids and literally force them to walk in front of everyone else into battle. So I'm like, how many kids have died this way? Just like, all right, you kids are the new ones. You're in the front. I don't know. It's kind of dark. Anyways, so they kind of, they make friends with some of the other kids there. This other girl who's like the daughter of the leader, and she knows how to fight, and she's been training her whole life and all that stuff. And Neil kind of gets a connection with that girl, so you're like, oh, cool. Neil kind of has a girlfriend. He gets a little kiss on the cheek, and it's a cool, little kid moment, right? But they do find out that in the, what do they call it? The observatory? They call it some kind of tower. So on their world, this is supposed to be where the supervisor lives. But on this world, they're told, like, well, there's coordinates to all these other systems over there. So help us, train with us, and we will let you go look over there once we prove your worth. And what ends up happening is that Jar Jar at first steals some credits when he's left behind on the ship. And he runs into the other clan, manages to buy all the Eope that they're fighting over, these two clans are fighting over, and just returns them back to that clan in exchange for the kids. And so that way they can go to the little tower and they can find some coordinates, where they do see coordinates of like all the other planets of this like ring of jeweled planets. So they list them all off. I don't know if any of them have any like legends significance at all. And I don't know if the show's going to go in the direction where we have to like go to each one, because when they find At-Atten listed there, the coordinates have been scratched off. They've been destroyed off of the pillar, and it turns out that SM-33, he's been here before, and every single time he's been saying like, can't say I know anything about At-Atten. He means that in a literal way, like he can't say it because he's been ordered not to say it. And so they discover this, and so the girl's like, okay, well, I'm the captain now, override memory, you know everything about At-Atten, tell me everything you know. And so he explains how he's been here before in this room. His old pirate captain slaughtered the rest of his crew, whoever saw those coordinates, because he wants to keep it a secret, and he ordered the droid to forget everything that he just saw. And then he destroyed the coordinates off the pillar. It was him that did this. So he also said, if anyone comes poking around, I gotta tear a limb from them. So the droid is about to attack the kids, and they managed to shut him off just in time. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. So it seems pretty clear that like we're gonna be able to access his memories. We're gonna have what's her name, KB, get inside the Smee's memories and be able to figure out like, okay, well, clearly they got to At-Atten, so we just need to figure out what those coordinates were, because they're stored in his memory somewhere. He did see them, and be able to get back there. Now, this whole thing gave me vibes of the vaults from Fallout. I didn't play the games, but I watched the show on Amazon like earlier this year. And basically it's that thing where like, hey, all these vaults are pretty similar, almost exactly the same in every way, but each one had like a different kind of experiment or a different thing that they were doing inside those vaults. Some of them more sinister, some of them more silly. And the fact that this planet was almost identical to their planet, but everything had gone wrong here, it's, I don't know, I still get like that really creepy, sinister vibe from AT-AT, and like, what exactly is happening? Is this place run by like a big computer, like AI, like droids or something? Or is this place being run by some other more sinister entity that we don't really know about yet? I will say, some of the soldiers in this war, like, they almost seem to be wearing like Imperial style helmets, but they didn't seem related to the Empire in any way. So not sure what's going on there. Maybe they were visited by the Empire at some point and they fought them off. I don't really know. But I just found that was kind of an interesting detail. Like, some of their helmets looked very Imperial. So I don't know. Yeah, so and that's pretty much all we got. We just kind of got confirmation that, like, okay, yeah, obviously Smee knows more than he was able to say, because clearly he did get to AT-AT at some point, so he must know how to get back there. And whatever's going on with this system of planets, these hidden jewels of the Old Republic, it's still, I don't know, it's a mystery. And I'm still really fascinated by it. We did get some pretty good moments between the characters. You know, the girl captain, she's kind of like, the pressure's building on her, and you kind of remember, like, oh right, she's a kid. She puts on this front of being like, you know, the boss, and knows what she's doing, and she wants to be in charge, you know, probably because her mom is a high-ranking person at Atten. So that sounds weird to say, at Atten. Anyways, her mom is, you know, kind of high-ranking there, and so she kind of always had this pressure of like, oh, well, you're gonna be just as great as me. And you know, you could even see that in like the early episodes where when she's talking to her mom, she has to act all proper, but she's kind of a rebel when her mom's not around. And so you still get that kind of feeling of like, oh, all this confidence that she's putting on, it's just an act. She doesn't really know what she's doing. She's just trying to, you know, be in charge because she feels like she has to. And so you get like that layer kind of peeled back, and her and Win have like that kind of moment, you know. So it was pretty cool. These kids are having their moments. They're kind of like, we're getting more development, and they're growing, and that's kind of the arc that you always have in these Goonies movies, right? Where like the tough kid has to have those layers peeled back, you know. The kid who doesn't have much confidence at all, he has to gain confidence. You know, maybe he meets a girl like we saw in this episode with Neil and that girl, you know, like, so we're kind of getting those beats that you see in all of these Goonies types moments, right? So pretty cool. Yeah, I'm still really enjoying the show. I'm ready for them to start revealing some more stuff about these planets. What is this? What happened here? You know, I don't know if we're gonna get some kind of big flashback episode where, you know, like we flash back to the Old Republic and we get an explanation of like, okay, here's what the planets actually were. You know, were these just like different mineral mining planets, or was there something else special about these planets? And then here's what happened. You know, like, did droids take over the system, or were they being hunted down by the Empire or the Sith or something that destroyed these planets one by one, and then something saved AT-AT at the last second? But you know, people on AT-AT are trapped there. They don't know anything else that's going on. You know, their normal currency is actually really, really rare and old, and they don't even realize that. So it's like something is controlling this whole situation. And something failed on these other planets that were very similar to their planets, you know? So, I don't know. Something's happening. And I'm getting, like, really weird, like, Fallout Vault vibes, you know, of, like, someone pulling the strings. So, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what's going on. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about episode 4 of Skeleton Crew. And what are your theories as to what's happening here? What happened to these other planets? Are we going to visit the other ones? And we're gonna see how, like, oh yeah, just they still have the same school, they still have the same towers and the same office buildings, but something else entirely happened on those ones. You know, is each planet gonna be different? I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Bye.